Well, good morning. Welcome to Roane State Community College's 2022 Commencement Celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Gentlemen, let's please remove our hats for the presenting of our national flag and the playing of our national anthem. Color Guard, present the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the Cumberland County Young Marines for presenting our national and state colors. Thank you for a job well done. I would also like to thank the Roane State Concert Choir celebration singers under the direction of Brenda Luigi for their musical performances this morning. Now, if you will please remain standing for our invocation, Mr. Scott Neerman, Executive Director of the Foundation and Alumni Relations at Roane State, will deliver our invocation this morning.
Please pray with me. Our almighty and merciful God, in whom we live and move and have our very being, we come to you with praise and thanksgiving for the blessings of this day and of this occasion. We rejoice with these graduates and their families and pray your continued blessings upon them as they commence a new chapter in their lives. We pray that the knowledge they have gained will replace fear and mistrust, give them confidence and competence in their chosen fields, and that a broader perspective of tolerance and understanding will result from their time spent here. As they take up new challenges, we pray that they will make us proud as they enjoy good and productive lives. Bless this school, its faculty and staff and leadership, that we all may continue to work together to deliver an education of quality and good reputation, and may the desire to continue to learn and serve characterize all who partake of the Roane State experience. Grant us grace and forgiveness, temperance and compassion, patience and kindness, goodness and courage of conviction. Direct us in all our ways and keep us safe and secure in the knowledge of your everlasting love. We humbly pray. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. In 1971, this institution was created by the Tennessee legislature, and it was named after the second governor of the state of Tennessee, Mr. Archibald Roane. Governor Roane served from 1801 through 1803, and during his term as governor, he served as trustee of Tennessee's first three colleges: Blount College, which is now the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, Greenville College, as well as Washington College, which we now know as Tusculum College. So, it is very fitting that Roane State Community College is named after him. And so again, on behalf of our faculty, our staff, and our students, to all of our guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Roane State Community College's commencement ceremony for 2022. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Jimmy Miller, yes, absolutely. Dr. Jimmy Miller is the mace bearer this morning, and he led the faculty into the hall with our college mace. Dr. Miller is one of the three finalists for the Sarah Ellen Benro Outstanding Faculty Award, which is the highest honor bestowed upon Roane State faculty, and the recipient of that award will be announced in the fall during convocation. We're also very grateful to Professors Deborah Miles and Elizabeth Weaver, who are serving as our faculty marshals. And now I'd like to take a few moments to talk to you about post-retirement. This is a program in which some retiring Roane State faculty members elect to teach part-time with the college for a term of up to 4 years. And at this time, I would like to recognize faculty members who are either ending or entering post-retirement this semester. Ending post-retirement is our professors Mike Goggin and Marcia Slush, and entering post-retirement, Professor Jeff Sexton. In addition, entering into full retirement, Professor Darlene Anthony. If any of those faculty members entering or ending post-retirement or fully retiring are with us in the hall this morning, would you please stand and let us recognize you right now? Now, during Roane State's 4 commencement ceremonies, we are gathering to celebrate our graduates who have reached a major milestone in their lives. And of course, this isn't just any educational milestone. It is important to note that many of you sitting before us today began this journey just before the start of the pandemic. And some of you may have even enrolled right in the middle of one of the most challenging times truly in our history. So I offer especially to you, to each of the graduates here this morning, our commendation, our congratulations for persevering in the face of extraordinary challenges and achieving your degree or your certificate. We are so pleased to honor you as our graduating class of 2022, and we welcome you into Roane State's alumni ranks. In fact, I would like to take a moment to recognize Roane State alumni who I know are in the audience today. So, anywhere sitting in this hall, if you are already a graduate, if you are an alum of Roane State, anywhere in here, would you please stand and let us recognize you? Anywhere at all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I encourage you, graduates, as you are now becoming our alumni, to remain in contact with our alumni office to let us know of your accomplishments, your milestones. We know you're going to do great things, and we want to know about those. And we, in turn, would like to share with you in ways which maybe you would choose to support future Roane State students as they work toward achieving their dreams. Now, we consider each one of you our special guest, but there are individuals who have joined us this morning who are worthy of special recognition. I would like to ask them to please stand. First of all, in our VIP section, Vice President Karen Bruner. I made her day by making her stand up. Frank Gathers, who is the husband of Kathy Gathers. Our commencement speaker, Kathy Gathers, whom I will have much more to say about in just a moment. Deborah Porter, who is the recipient of the 2021-22 President's Award. I would also like to introduce the other members of the stage party that will be participating in the commencement ceremony this morning. Will you please stand as I call your names? On your right is Dr. Diane Ward, Chief Academic Officer and Vice President for Student Learning. Behind her on the second row, Dr. Patricia Jenkins, Dean of Health Sciences. Mr. Dan Hyder, Interim Dean of Social Science, Business, and Education. On the third row, Dr. Joel Greenlee, Interim Dean of Humanities. And Dr. Susan Malikpour, Dean of Mathematics and Sciences. Now on your left, on the second row again, Dr. Jimmy Miller, our faculty mace bearer. Professor April Ensko, who serves as our Faculty Senate President. Once again, Scott Neerman, Executive Director of the Roane State Foundation. And again, we are thankful to have all of you here with us this morning. This morning's commencement speaker again is Kathy Gathers. Kathy holds a bachelor's degree in personnel management from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, as well as an MBA from Tennessee Tech. She came to Roane State after working for 14 years at K-25 in Oak Ridge in a variety of positions, culminating in serving there as the coordinator for personnel management, serving over 500 employees. At the college, she first worked as the Director of Human Resources and Affirmative Action before being promoted to Assistant Vice President of Human Resources for all Roane State campuses. In this position, she managed both employee concerns as well as dealing with student issues. And after 20 years of wonderful service to Roane State, Kathy retired in 2005, but she has continued to put her management and organizational skills to work, enriching her community. She has served as a personnel consultant on the board of the Cancer Support Community, and currently she serves as the administrative assistant to a bishop in the Zion Church. She is also a deaconess for the Greater Warner Tabernacle AME Zion Church. She is married again to her husband Frank, whom we think the world of, and she enjoys spending time with him and their daughters, Dartrice White and Dr. Shana McKinney, a trustee on the board of the University of Tennessee System. She especially enjoys time spent with her wonderful grandson, David Gathers McKinney. And I will tell you on a personal note that after many years of getting to work with and know Kathy, her heart for students, her heart for the mission of Roane State is unparalleled. We miss her very much, but her legacy lives on at Roane State. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that all of you who may not get to know these folks who spent their careers building Roane State into what it is, that you get to meet them, you get to hear from them, and they get to see the great things that their legacy and the foundation that they helped build has carried on. So please join me in welcoming Kathy Gathers.
Good morning, graduates. I know your parents, your grandparents, your family members, and your friends are excited to see this day. I want to thank Dr. Whaley and the Roane State staff for inviting me to speak on this special occasion. I am so glad to meet each one of you today, because as I look out over this room, I see the future leaders of this town, of this state, and of this nation. Some of you will be continuing your education and become doctors. Some of you are going to become lawyers. But either way, some of you are going to become government officials. So it is really good to meet you. As I was preparing for this address, I couldn't help but think about my experience of leaving Martin Marietta Energy Systems after 14 years to come to Roane State. I can imagine that just like me, you're frightened this morning as you sit here and think about what your next move is going to be. Some of you are going to continue your education, and some of you are going to go to work. But either way, it is a very frightening experience. 37 years ago, I was hired as the first African-American executive at Roane State. Thank you. Thank you. I will tell you that it is frightening to be the first at anything, whether it's the first child that your parents get to practice on, or whether it's if you're the first person in your family going to college. It is a very frightening experience. I was frightened, and I'm sure the faculty and staff was just as frightened as I was. But after a few months of working here, I realized what a wonderful group of people that I had been led to. The faculty and staff were very warm and very accepting. But I realized that I had to do my part also. I had to be a person of integrity, and I also had to make sure that I had moral character. And so, as I think back on my journey, please allow me to share 5 things with you that I learned from my experiences over my career. I learned, first of all, to develop a winning attitude. And I learned it at a very young age through biblical principles through my parents. I learned that I could do anything that I put my mind to. And so I used those things to foster me into doing a job of excellence and also having a winning attitude while I did it. This mindset served me well, and it served as my compass for success. The second thing that I learned to look for opportunities around me. I took on extra jobs. Didn't want to wear that hat anyway. I took on extra jobs that were not in my job description, and I helped my coworkers when they needed help. This gave me an opportunity to build my resume. The third thing that I learned to associate with the right people who also had a winning attitude. I didn't hang out with people that were negative, people that ran their companies down, people that talked about their coworkers or even their fellow students. Because I learned, and it's still true today, that birds of a feather do flock together. The fourth thing I learned and selected a role model. I learned that as human beings, 90% of what we learn is visual. So I would suggest to each one of you in this room that wherever life takes you, that you find someone that you would like to be like someday and follow them and just watch what they do. My role model became the first female vice president at Lockheed Martin Marietta in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And last but not least, I learned from my mistakes, and believe me, I made plenty of mistakes over my lifetime. But don't be afraid to try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't get into the mode of saying, we've never done it like that. Or better still, that's the way we've always done it. But instead, develop that winning attitude and think outside the box. Think about how you can do things different in order to improve the process. Unfortunately, we cannot always control our circumstances, and we can't always control that the decisions that we make are going to give us correct and right outcomes. But we can learn from our mistakes. And so as I close, I say one thing to each one of you. I am betting on every one of you in this room. I am betting on you because I know that you are going to develop a winning attitude. I know that you are going to look for opportunities around you. You're going to associate with the right people. You're going to find role models to follow. And last but not least, you're going to learn from your mistakes. And so when I say that I am betting on every one of you in this room that's graduating, I want the world to know that I know I am betting on a sure thing, and it's nothing better than betting on a sure thing. The famous lecturer, poet, and philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson, put it this way: it's easy for you to live for others. Everybody does that. But I call on each one of you to live for yourselves. Congratulations and blessings to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy, for such an inspirational message. You have presented a challenge and encouragement to all of us, and it is truly our sincere honor to have you both here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, speaking of honor, I would like now to ask our President's Award recipient, Deborah Porter, to make a few remarks about the impact that Roane State has made on her. Deborah is a non-traditional student with 3 wonderful children and 3 awesome grandchildren, and her lifelong passion for learning reached new heights when she enrolled here at Roane State. Now, Deborah has said that school initially was not a priority in her family. She thought that college was for other people, and she was fearful to get started, but she quickly overcame those fears through the friendly staff and faculty who welcomed her here into her new environment. Deborah serves as president of the Roane State Community College Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. She serves as a Roane State Foundation student ambassador as well. She serves as vice president of the Student Government Association, and she is a 5-time published writer. She also serves as a tutor in our learning centers. And this coming fall, Deborah plans to attend the University of Tennessee to continue her education. She has a deep love for nature, writing, history, psychology, biology, and most of all, helping others see the joy of a life lived with knowledge. And I will say off script that it has been truly our joy and honor to have Deborah Porter at Roane State Community College. And if you are around her just for 2 or 3 minutes, just some of what she has in her will rub off on you, and you will be a better person for it. Please join me in welcoming Deborah Porter to the stage.
Is it warm? I guess that makes sense. There's a little over 100 degrees just right there, right? Yes. Seriously, though, the impact that Roane State has made in my life is profound. Aside from giving me the opportunity to join PTK, the most prestigious honor society there ever was, individuals that I have met here, and many that I have not, have helped me to develop the ability to run in directions that I previously couldn't even face. They've given me the courage to transform into what I want to be, and the wisdom to know how to do that, and the grit to face those pains necessary for healthy growth. Overcoming challenges like 11:59 deadlines, final exams, research essays, extra credit projects, faulty alarm clocks, well, speeches, has led us to today, where a sense of accomplishment and self-worth is allowed to soar, and it's highlighted in each and every one of our smiles. All the growing pains have stopped. When I came to Roane State, I was afraid. I will leave not only with a new world view, knowing that people are predominantly good, but also with the realization of strengths and talents I previously never knew I had. We can all go on knowing that no matter what the next page reveals, we're all equipped with the competence, the confidence, and skill to succeed in any chapter of our lives. Most importantly, Roane State has taught us the power of recognition. We've been showered by the outpouring of encouragement and love through vivid illustrations of patience, kindness, and humor. I implore you to reflect those qualities that we have been so diligently shown. I could say because you never know whose life you're going to change, but the reality is that it's your life that you would change. So now I would like to pass on the most valuable, useful advice that I was given while at Roane State. And I won't charge you for it. It was free for me, although it is worth way more than gold. If you want to get ahead, do the extra. It is only extra if you do not need it in the end, and how do you know if you need it or not if you're at the beginning? Say yes to participation in clubs or community activities when you're asked. Because if someone's asking you, they may see potential in you that you do not see in yourself. And finally, put double the effort of anything you do. Remember, this includes forgiveness, patience, and love. Thank you, Claudia Cummings, for the sound advice that is proven by my presence standing here on this stage today. So right now, if my personal graduating class wouldn't mind to take a look around at each other, really look around at each other. Yeah. We got here together, all of us. And today, we've reached our goals. Tomorrow, we will reach our dreams. And forever, we are Raiders. Congratulations, class of 2022. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Deborah, for sharing with your peers this morning and for being such an outstanding, and I mean outstanding representative of Roane State Community College. Now, at this time, we'd like to recognize our veterans who are graduating today. Roane State is proud of the veterans who returned to college after their service to the United States of America. So, would our graduating veterans please stand? Thank you. You may be seated. And at this time, we would also like to acknowledge our first generation college graduates. We are blessed to have well over 300 of our participating graduates this year who have self-identified as being the first member of their family to attend college. And you'll see some of them wearing special stoles to signify this achievement, as well as faculty members who are taking part in this new tradition as well. So, among our graduates, if you are a first-generation college graduate, please stand. All right. Everything has been really great up to this morning, but guess what? It is time. Dr. Ward, please prepare the class of 2022 for graduation.
Will the candidates for the associate's degree or certificate please rise? President Whaley, these students have completed the requirements for the associate degree or certificate. On behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present them to you and ask that you confer upon them the appropriate degree.
And by the authority vested in me by the Tennessee Board of Regents and the state of Tennessee, I hereby confer upon you and each of your respective groups the Associate of Applied Science degree, the Associate of Science degree, or appropriate certificate with full privileges, honors, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassels to the left. And I would invite you to please come forward and receive your degree or appropriate certificate at this time.
Associate of Art, Haley Joe Davis, Associate of Art, summa cum laude. Emily Annette Evans, Associate of Arts. Jackson Taylor Sopchak, summa cum laude. Nathaniel David Loring, cum laude. Associate of Science degrees, Chandler Sloan Baldrich, cum laude. Emily Hope Barnes, magna cum laude. Damian Michael Barton, Associate of Science. Jolie Drew Beard, Associate of Science. Tila Ann Benson, Associate of Science. Elizabeth Ashley Bidwell, Associate of Science. Atalia A. Blair, Associate of Science. Jessica R. Blaylock, cum laude. Taylor Alexis Bonafide, magna cum laude. Julian Marie Brackett, summa cum laude. Amanda Jean Bradley, Associate of Science. Jonah Travis Brassfield, magna cum laude. Charles Bradley Brown, Associate of Science. Kenzie Brett Brown, Associate of Science. Logan Heath Brown, Associate of Science. Haley Mace Browning, summa cum laude. Jeffrey Andrew Burton, Associate of Science. Joyce Ann Klein, Associate of Science. Emily Diana Ruth Cobb, magna cum laude. Maya Caitlin Collins, magna cum laude. Alyssa Ann Cook, magna cum laude. Kobe Allen Cooper, Associate of Science. Brian Joseph Cross, Associate of Science. Shannon Dabney, Associate of Science. Dustin Dakota Daniels, summa cum laude. Jacob Ray DeBoard, cum laude. Montana Boyd Dickerson, Associate of Science. Chase Matthew Disney, Associate of Science. Vanessa L. Dotson, Associate of Science. Tabitha Michelle Doyle, cum laude. Emily Allison Engel, Associate of Science. Alex Miguel Francisco, magna cum laude. Adeline Paul, cum laude. Amanda Hope Galloway, Associate of Science. Brody Dennis Goodman, Associate of Science. Abigail Leanne Gravely, Associate of Science. Bailey C. Gwynn, magna cum laude. Hamid Mahdi Habib, Associate of Science. Savannah Faith Hall, summa cum laude. Latoya Lynn Hargis, cum laude. Christy Louise Harrell, magna cum laude. Matthew Thomas Harvey, magna cum laude. Abigail Marie Hawley, magna cum laude. Asa McCoy Hess, cum laude. Courtney P. Hobson, cum laude. Bradley Hutchins, summa cum laude. William Brent James, summa cum laude. Andrew David Johnson, Associate of Science. Lauren F. Johnson, cum laude. Mabel Aaron Johnson, summa cum laude. Joshua James Brent Justice, Associate of Science. Alec Jamal Kentekegler, Associate of Science. Caitlin E. Kidwell, Associate of Science. Kayla Ann Coper, magna cum laude. Nicholas Ryan Lamy, cum laude. Pamela Cherie LaRue, Associate of Science. Bridget Nicole Lawson, cum laude. Macy Page Limbaugh, Associate of Science. George William Carson Livesey, summa cum laude. Anna Marie June Lesh, Associate of Science. Madison Nina Antoinette McDonald, Associate of Science. Savannah Caitlin Meharry, magna cum laude, honors diploma. Sandra Renee Manning, magna cum laude. Justin Hoyt Mays, Associate of Science. Myzaya Brandon McDowell, cum laude.
Alice Victoria McCown, Associate of Science. Alondra Mejia Rendon, Associate of Science. Grace Diane Melton, Associate of Science. Ashley Miller, cum laude. Austin Gary Mitchell. Juan Lamar Moore, Associate of Science. Cheryl A. Moore, Associate of Science, cum laude. Jessica Shane Morrow, Associate of Science, cum laude. Gabrielle Lane Morton, Associate of Science, cum laude. Heston Mua, Associate of Science, cum laude. Gavin Kate Neely, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Derek Charles Nelson, Associate of Science. Lily Harper Nichols, Associate of Science. Christina Sturgill O'Neill, Associate of Science. Landon Ortiz. Jacob Michael Parton, Associate of Science. Tanya Elizabeth Perdomo Flores, Associate of Science. Ty J. Perkins, Associate of Science, cum laude. Victoria Elizabeth Phillips, Associate of Science. Deborah Kamala Porter, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Christy Marlena Powell, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Chelsea Denise Pyle. Caitlin Dolores Reed, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Nicholas Rhodes, Associate of Science. Chloe Brooke Rourke, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Madison L. Robinson, Associate of Science. Mason Buchanan Rogers, Associate of Science, cum laude. Erica Diana Rodriguez, Associate of Science. Jarrett Andrew Chavone, Associate of Science. Sydney Dobson Smith, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Sally Ann Spangler, Associate of Science. Chloe M. Spike, Associate of Science, cum laude. Ella Marie Stewart, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Joshua Michael Strickland, Associate of Science, cum laude. Rhonda Elizabeth Summers, Associate of Science. Samantha May Summers, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Austin Bryce Sykes. Brittany Dawn Tackett, Associate of Science.
Adam Lee Tharp, Associate of Science, also a member of the Army National Guard. Carly Nicole Thompson, Associate of Science. Ashlyn Nicole Tyndall, Associate of Science. Emily Hope Toller, Associate of Science, cum laude. Holly Marie Tupper, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Hunter Rachelle Vespi, Associate of Science, also Navy. Savannah Grace Walden, Associate of Science. Dolly Marie Walker, Associate of Science. Jan Stacy West, Associate of Science. I'm sorry. George Caleb Isaiah Wilder, Associate of Science. Chavez Adarius Williams, Associate of Science. Clayton Robert Williams, Associate of Science. Liza Marie Williams, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Savannah Grace Williams, Associate of Science. Courtney Anastasia Willis, Associate of Science. Allie Marie Wilson, Associate of Science. Kevin Seth Wilson, Associate of Science. Shania Faye Wilson, Associate of Science. Shirley Frances Witz, Associate of Science, summa cum laude. Nicole Elizabeth Woodall, Associate of Science. Let's do run right quick. Jenny Marie White, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Dylan Gage Wyatt, Associate of Science, cum laude. Kara Frances Wyatt, Associate of Science, magna cum laude. Tony Renee Young, Associate of Science. Associate of Science Teaching. Taylor Ray Beats, Associate of Science Teaching, summa cum laude, and an honors diploma. Kayla Beth Ann Brown, Associate of Science in Teaching. Jalen Ashley Ann Burris, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude. Skyla Crystal Curington, Associate of Science Teaching, summa cum laude. Emily Elizabeth Garrett, Associate of Science Teaching, cum laude. Kaylin Avery Gibson, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude. Tiana R. Goebel, Associate of Science Teaching. Danielle Marie Greenwell, Associate of Science Teaching, summa cum laude. Nicole Elise Hunsaker, Associate of Science Teaching. And Associate of Science Teaching. Emma Ara Hyde, Associate of Science Teaching. Matthew Dillon Hyde, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude. Carla Beth Irwin, Associate of Science Teaching. Tiffany Marie Klein, Associate of Science Teaching, summa cum laude. Madeline Nicole Middleton, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude. Skylar Cheyenne Mazingo, Associate of Science Teaching. Selena Raquel Pettis, Associate of Science Teaching. Bailey Nicole Reagan, Associate of Science Teaching. Kimberly Renee Reynolds, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude. Emily Renee Rose, Associate of Science Teaching. Jessica Page Supek, Associate of Science Teaching, cum laude. Jalen Riley Wood, Associate of Science Teaching, magna cum laude.
All right, everyone, it's time to make some noise. Would you now officially please join me in congratulating the Roane State Community College class of 2022? All right. One of the presidential prerogatives that I always do is that I get the first selfie with the graduating class, which I'm going to do right now. Everybody smile. You did that very well, Deborah. I would have sprained an ankle doing that. You did that very well. All right, now, as a special treat for everyone, for the very first time during these commencement ceremonies, we would ask everyone to please stand for the Roane State Alma Mater, written by our very own Dr. Joel Greenlee, our Interim Dean of Humanities. By the way, the lyrics are inside your program just after today's order of service. Thank you. You may be seated. We look forward to hearing that beautiful tribute for many years to come. Now, we simply cannot end this morning without recognizing, of course, that each student has achieved a significant milestone in their lives, but as with any accomplishment, they have not done it alone. And perhaps most importantly, I expect that none of these graduates who received their degrees and certificates did so without the support of family and friends. So, now, if you have played any role as a family member, a friend, if you've offered any word of encouragement or helped in any way to make it possible for these students to become our graduating class of 2022, we're now going to honor you by asking our graduates to please stand and thank everyone here who loves you and supports you so much. Now, graduates, remain standing for just a moment, please, because, of course, our faculty have challenged our graduates who have helped make it possible for them to learn and expand their educational horizons. So, at this time, graduates, our faculty members, many of them are seated right behind you. Would you turn and please join me in thanking the faculty at Roane State Community College? You may be seated again. You have probably noticed in your program that just like all of our institutions and organizations, we have had losses among the Roane State family this year, and we were honored to list those in the program. One loss that came too recent to get into the program I want to mention, particularly today, because every time I come in here and see the great work that it takes so many people to do to get everything ready for these ceremonies. A dear friend and colleague for many years, Terry Shiren, passed away just a few days ago. And I always think about him, particularly when I come into this hall, because he was one of the ones who spent hours physically putting things into place. And because his name, again, is not able to be in our program, I want to make sure that all of you know what a dear and valued member of the Roane State family that Terry has been, and how much we sorely miss him. And in talking about, again, all the folks that it takes to make these ceremonies possible, we have a wonderful graduation committee. We have the folks in our facilities area, our police force, and so many others. It's just no way to list all of them. But everyone reports to Miss Amy Keeling this time of the year, who chairs our graduation committee. And she is right in the back there. I want her to stand, and let's give her a round. Amy, you and your team do such a great job, and we are so grateful to all of you. Again, congratulations to our graduates. This concludes our graduation ceremony. Please stand now as the stage party, the faculty, and the graduates exit the arena. Thank you so much for being here.